Hello guys and welcome to this new video. So today I'm flying on quite a novelty flight. Today I'm flying from Beijing to Guangzhou, but not just on any aircraft. Today I'm flying on the Airbus A380. I'm really excited for this flight and I'll see you at check-in. Okay, and there we have it. Check-in was very quick. I've got my bag all the way through to Hanoi, which is fantastic because otherwise I'll be having to lug it around Guangzhou for 10 hours. I've also managed to wangle a pretty nice window seat on the A380 and an aisle seat on the A320 going to Hanoi, so I'm very happy, and off we go through security. So I seem to be telling you guys that I've done something stupid in security in every single video, but today's is the worst. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that last night I actually went out and I got back in to have about 4 hours sleep, literally not very much. And obviously when I woke up, I wasn't feeling the best. So I packed in the morning in a bit of a hurry while waiting for the taxi. And what I stupidly did was I put my toiletries bag in my carry-on case. And obviously I checked my bag in and I didn't realize until literally I was going through security and she pulled me up, had my whole carry-on case, which was a tad annoying. But this is exactly what we're here for. There she is, the Airbus A380. That'll be taking me from Beijing to Guangzhou. I'm on the bottom deck and I hope the crew are nice. I'll do some exploring and maybe go see what the upstairs economy is like. And yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So what makes this aircraft different from the A330 is that, as you can see, it's laid out in a 3-4-3 configuration. So here I am in the lower deck economy cabin, and as you can see here, I've got the window seat, which is 53A. What it means is that I've got a pretty decent wing view, but also that I don't have the privilege of being in a 232 or a 242 configuration, which means I don't have to walk past anyone. So I've got the 343, which isn't amazing, but yeah, I'll show you around the seat. So if you've watched my China Southern A330 video, you'll remember that my leg room was not very good, and we've kind of got the same here. My legs are very strongly pressing against the seat in front of me. And the first thing I did notice when I got on board was that the safety card here displays a Boeing 787-9. And if you know anything about aircraft, you'll know that that doesn't look like a Boeing 787. Okay, so it actually turns out I was sitting in the wrong person's seat. I was in 55K and I have 55A. So here's the wing view. Obviously exactly the same, just the other side of the aircraft. Leg space still very poor, but look at that, we have an A380 safety card, which is definitely nice. As with the A330, we've got this footrest here, which is quite nice to have in economy class. They don't usually have them, so I'm a big fan of that. And inside the seat pocket we have one magazine and some better headphones actually than were given on the A330, so that's a definite improvement. Look at that. I don't know if you watched that video, but that's definitely an improvement of what was given there. Something I'll always like about the A380 is the space. Obviously this is an absolutely humongous aircraft, but the cabin is just so spacious, which I really like. And next to the seat here, lots of storage space. Down the side of the aircraft there, lots of storage space, which I really like. Something I found really annoying about this seat already is that it doesn't look like it has USB charging. I've looked pretty much everywhere and I can't find anywhere to plug my USB in, which is really annoying, as I wanted to charge GoPro batteries, and yeah, if there was a plug I wanted to charge my laptop, because I have a 10-hour stopover in Guangzhou which I'd quite like to watch films on. Anyway, there goes the jet bridge. It's now disconnected from the aircraft, and I believe we are ready to go. Jet bridge has been disconnected 25 minutes before departure, so we're looking for an on-time departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chief purser speaking. The flight captain has informed us that there will be departure delayed due to air traffic control. Further information will be provided as soon as it is available. We kindly remind you that during delay on the ground, please do not touch the emergency exit doors with red signs on them or cabin door handles. Thank you for your cooperation.
Well, there we have it. An ATC delay, an air traffic delay, and they don't know how long it's going to be. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm happy. I'd rather sit on an A380 than in Guangzhou Airport. So every minute that we stay here is a minute less I have to spend in the airport on my 10-hour stopover. So I don't mind that too much. So we've been on the ground for about 1 hour now, and this is turning into a bit of a hellish flight, I have to say. They've just come around with drinks. I've gone for coffee. Like the guy in front of me, seat recline coming down, one behind me banging on the table. So yeah, it's a bit of a testing hour, but I'm sure I'll get through it. So there we have it. The guy in front of me is actually reclined now, and you can see just how little space I have on this. It's quite nice having the side here because I can put my leg out, but this leg is pretty much jammed up against the seat. And just when I thought it couldn't get much worse, there are leaking aircon up there, and I don't know if you can see it dripping, but it has just started dripping water, and yeah, so this flight is getting pretty much worse and worse as we go along. So seeing as we're just sitting here on the ground, I've decided to test out the IFE and the headphones and maybe watch a film, and to be honest, put these headphones on, they're definitely better than those on the A330, but they're in no way noise cancelling. I mean, I can still hear everything else in the cabin, obviously, and let's see what they're like when I'm watching a film. And there we go, my headphones don't actually work. If you push them in all the way, all I can hear is a tinny, like, very high-pitched noise, and as I gradually pull them out, I can hear it working. But it has to be halfway in, halfway out to actually work, and it keeps slipping. So I've been on this plane for about an hour already, and I have to say I'm really, really not enjoying it. So we're just coming up to 2 hours on the ground now, and yeah, almost 2 hours, and breakfast has been served. Option was pork or chicken breakfast, although actually coming up to lunchtime we're so delayed. It looks pretty good. I've gone for the chicken, and yeah, let's dive in and see what's inside. So here we are, breakfast has now been served. We've got the chicken dish here. Looks pretty good. It was steaming hot when I opened it. We've got a bread roll that it comes with, and a yogurt, a vanilla yogurt by the taste of it, and then a little side salad here, which has something in it. I'm not 100% sure. And this was on the flight coming here as well. I opened it, and it's like something you squeeze out. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't try it on the way in. I'm afraid I'm not going to try it now either. But if you know exactly what it is, if you can read it or whatever, can you please tell me in the comments, because I'd love to know if I should eat it next time. So that's the meal service complete, and I have to say I don't think I've ever had a worse meal on a plane. It was full to the brim of celery. I'd have no idea why, but this chicken dish, there was a bit of chicken, some rice. Rice was nice, chicken was nice. There was just celery everywhere, and I'm not a very big fan of celery, as you can probably tell, so this this side salad here wasn't exactly up my street. The thing I did like was the yogurt. Vanilla yogurt was nice, but yeah, as I said, the chicken was just really not very well done. Celery everywhere. Oh my god, so 2 hours and 10 minutes on the ground. We've just finished our food and we are moving. I'm so happy to get on the move and get on our way to Guangzhou. So there we go, after about 2.5 hours of delays, we are finally out of Beijing on our way to Guangzhou. As I said before, I'm not hugely fussed. I'd rather sit on an A380 for 2.5 hours than sit in Guangzhou airport for 10 hours. So it just means it's knocked my layover down to about 7.5 hours instead of 10, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. Seeing as we've eaten on the ground, we've had a drink service on the ground, I'm not 100% sure what to expect from this flight. Okay guys, little update, it's not going well and the water droplets have turned into ice, so there is now ice dropping on my laptop and then obviously melting as soon as it hits my laptop or hits me, but the seat next to me is getting pretty wet and there is literally ice just falling down and landing right on my laptop. This is very weird and pretty scary actually, to think that there's actually ice falling out of the aircraft. So I'll keep you updated and see if it gets any worse, which I very much hope it doesn't. Can I have some coffee and some orange juice, please? Thanks. Thanks very much. So upstairs we have a 2-4-2 configuration, whereas downstairs we have still a 3-4-3. So I've just come upstairs to the economy cabin on the upper deck, and it's in a 2-4-2 configuration, which is much nicer than the 3-4-3 downstairs. So if you're flying on this plane, definitely ask to sit on the upper deck because the configuration is much nicer, a lot more space, and a much smaller, more intimate cabin. The toilet, I came to the upper deck toilet because I thought it was the massive one. Obviously not. It is as tiny as the downstairs ones, which means I have to head to the front, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be allowed because it's first class through there. And I think they get a bit iffy if you're walking through other cabins, as they should. I have to say this flight has been pretty dreadful with the dripping seat. It means I've had to walk around. I don't really want to sit in my seat. The guy in front of me reclining and just like always like kind of hammering on his seat back and forward, which was really annoying. And when I was working, he kept jogging my laptop towards me. The girl behind me constantly hammering her seat up and down, crying, screaming. And so it's been a very loud flight. Luckily I got these noise cancelling headphones, so I've been listening to music to block it out. But then just to top it off, the crew, I have to say, have been pretty rude. The woman at the beginning who was handing me my food was actually really sweet, pretty nice. But I've just come upstairs now, tried talking to them, and there's no language barrier, don't get me wrong, they speak perfect English, they're speaking really good English to me, but they're very rude, and they're just, kind of just putting me aside and not really wanting to engage with me or talk to me, which is a shame because, you know, I always love talking to the cabin crew on flights. I feel like it makes it a lot funner, but I think it's quite obvious that they're just not really interested in interacting with the passengers, which is a massive shame. And yeah, something I've found really bad on this flight, actually, especially this flight. Well, hello guys, we're about half an hour now, half an hour to go until we come to land in Guangzhou. Been sitting in this seat for about 5 hours now, so I'm definitely ready to get off the plane and get into Guangzhou airport. I did manage to have a little sleep, probably about 45 minutes, but I was woken up by an absolute racket behind me. A combination of smashing of table, pushing my reclined seat back and forward, yeah, a mixture of everything. And I don't know if you saw that, but now there's a fly flying around my head, and I'm just getting slightly irritated with this flight, and I'm definitely ready to get off. Well, there we have it. We have finally, after sitting on this aircraft for about 6 hours, well, 5.5 hours, we have eventually landed here in Guangzhou, where I'll stay for 8-9 hours now because of the delay before heading off to Hanoi in Vietnam. I have to say this flight has been pretty bad. I found the legroom really tough, just like I did on my last China Southern flight. The rain or the ice coming from the roof really wasn't a nice surprise, and I did actually, as we were coming to land, it happened again, and I got it on film on my camera. Just a chunk of ice falling on my leg and melting. I have no idea why it's happening, but it's pretty unbelievable, to be honest. Behind and in front, lots of noise, lots of seat recline, racket on the table, meant that I couldn't really sleep that well, and food on the ground, packed with celery, no idea why, something I didn't really like, so the meal wasn't great either. Then I found the service just to be very, apart from one crew member who was really nice, I found it to be not very personal, and actually borderline rude. So yeah, I've definitely not had that much of an enjoyable flight with China Southern, and while I do understand that the delays definitely weren't due to them, it was due to air traffic control restrictions, I have to say I think it was handled pretty well at the beginning, but then the rudeness of the crew definitely showed through, and yeah, it's been a pretty long 5.5 hours, so yeah.